Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
Well,
Good
everybody.
morning, Puddin'.
Morning, Red. So Spoon's a little behind. He overslept, so we're just going to go ahead and kick off a little bit of national stuff before he comes in. Man, that thing you sent me with the Hodge twins. Whew, gosh. And that's not, what did you?
That's the Breakfast Club. I think they're just it's a show called The Breakfast Club that he had gone on, and the Hodge twins were critiquing the video, essentially. But wow, talk about hatred, man. There was some hatred on that video.
I see Spoon's getting ready. When he wants to pop in here, he's coming in. But man,
is he the disclaimer guy?
He's the disclaimer guy. But we're talking this Vivek guy. I like him. I do. I watched the Colin Noir video you sent the other day. There he comes. Oh boy. Now you're the skier today, Spoon. So okay, yeah. You gotta do it a little bit. You get the hands up here.
Yeah, well, and then it's still freezing up.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You overslept big time today. But it's your day off, so
bad headache.
No, but
put some cayenne pepper in your coffee.
Well, if I had coffee right now, I got water.
He only drinks that sugary mocha, Duncan. That's about all he drinks, right?
That'd be better with the old cayenne pepper in there.
I usually get a frozen coffee. I love coffee, but I can't drink much of it.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah, go ahead.
You want to do your disclaimer, Spoon? We'll pause.
Okay.
We ain't further into it.
Primary purpose of this podcast is to educate and share thoughts and opinions. When we have proof and evidence on the topic, it will be brought forth. This podcast does not constitute advice or services to anyone. Spoon and Puddin' do not accept any responsibility or liability for anyone, our guests, or anyone's comments or actions based on the material we talk about on our podcast. This podcast is private, non-commercial use, and everyone should ascertain that the information we provide is correct and verified at all times. There shall be no adding to, editing, or reproduction of this podcast without prior written permission from Spoon and Puddin'. You can reach us at realtalkwithspoonandpuddin@gmail.com.
All right, so now that little out of the way.
That's it.
Vivek, have you watched any of him, Spoon?
How do you say his last name?
Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy.
Yeah. Have you watched any?
I have. I watched the one Eric Maria sent me yesterday, and I watched some of his stuff before.
Did you send him the Colin Noir?
Yeah. That's the one I sent him. I also sent him the John Stossel one too.
Okay.
But that was 51 minutes, so I imagine that probably wasn't one that got watched. Like anything else, if you're just having a passing interest in it, something that's nearly an hour long, it's hard to watch.
Pretty much, yeah. It was interesting. PBD was talking about how he thinks that, or Trump come out and said Vivek won I didn't watch. I didn't watch the Republican debates. I don't care. I didn't watch the Trump thing either, though. I don't care. But Trump said that Vivek won that, which is interesting. I think it's going to be Vivek, DeSantis, and Trump fighting to win. Don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, for the most part. My only thing with DeSantis is with the laws that he's making in Florida. He may be alienating himself greatly as a popular person.
Orange Man bad, number 2.
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah, he is mini-me there, isn't he? At least that's what he was trying to be in the early days of Trump's presidency. He kind of seemed like he was trying to be mini-me, for sure.
Like I said,
Every 3 hours, I keep going in.
I can't remember that poll though. Somebody said there was a poll out that a lot of people believe that Trump they trust Trump more than God, or some people say that. I've seen that poll. I said, "Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me, really?"
Insanity.
Oh,
Insanity. But now, so I did end up watching a number. Actually, Ramaswamy has a YouTube channel. Also, I went ahead. I subscribed to that yesterday, and I watched a few of them. I mean, largely he's just putting out shorts of the interviews that he does. As far as that, so I guess you really whatever interviews, like he was on with Russell Brand, by the way. I know you're Ramaswamy.
Oh yeah.
So I know you're a fan of Russell Brand.
Oh, I like a lot of podcasts. I think you get better news out of them. Or at least, well, a lot of people believe that when you got somebody on, you can't just have them on and off in 5 minutes and they get through their whole train of thought. It takes time to fill it out and roll through it and get them to speak on issues where it's actually, I mean, the one you sent me with the Hodge twins, that was a pretty long interview that he was doing with that lady. And she just kept on, there was nothing he was going to say to win her, period.
Oh, no, she came in with a predetermined opinion. She wasn't there. She was basically there to attack him. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, I did listen to the John Stossel, the link that I sent you all yesterday. And so Saturday is chore day, right? So basically what I do is just turn the sound up really loud. That way, while I'm doing my chores, I can listen to it. And so I wasn't actually watching the TV. I wasn't watching the person who was talking. Now I could differentiate between Ramaswamy and John Stossel as far as that. But, as to which voice was speaking, because John Stossel was just asking questions. And, of course, Ramaswamy was answering.
I like Stossel because he'll ask a question and then he'll counter. And then he'll play devil's advocate with everybody on every point. That's what I like about his interviews. He's real good.
Right.
Whether he's for it or not, he'll play devil's advocate, which is good. You get the opinion of the person because he pulls it out of them.
As far as I know, John Stossel is a journalist.
Yeah, he
is a legit journalist.
Yes, he was in the mainstream until he realized he's neither party and he can't be, and he had to exit and start doing his own thing.
Right. I think he was ABC. He was an ABC.
Yeah, reporter. He was. I think so. But he did what Tucker did long before Tucker did it. He just went out and did his own thing because he realized he was libertarian.
What's your opinion of Ramaswamy?
Both me and Red love him. We think he's great.
Love his ideas. I love his ideas. I mean, this stuff, it sounds really good, but actually having listened to quite a few more of the interviews, the ideas sound great. It becomes, is he electable? And then when
not on the Republican, on the Democrat ticket, he's very electable. They'd never have him.
Oh no! We saw the response. That Breakfast Club interview was essentially the response that the left was going to have, which is where I was going with what I was saying when I was doing my chores. I was listening to the interview basically without watching the video. And so, at that point, you're not looking at what does the man look like. And I was just in the background. Oops, somebody became unplugged.
Yes.
Then, and I was like, wow, the left is not going to like this guy. And, and because as I was speaking with, I actually did call Spoon yesterday. I hate to say it, if he wasn't brown, the left would call him a racist.
The words are chewy.
What?
So that was unfortunately, after listening to that and then listening to like the video, the Hodge twins video, and actually seeing, people who basically were just like, we hate you. They didn't say that because there's three people on the Breakfast Club. They did not say that, but the way the interview went, it was basically, we hate you. And if he was Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, they probably would have called him a racist in the interview. They probably would have. I could just see I could feel, you could hear the hate that was coming from him because, he just really, I hate, he wants you to stand up on your own and do for yourself, essentially. And so I think that probably just, there's people on the left that are not going to. It's the same reason why the fair tax books aren't going. That would never go. Same reasons. A lot of the same reasons.
Well, I just texted you the John Strauss on Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang was the Democrat. He ran for Democrat presidency, I think, in 2020. He didn't make it. He ran like an independent Democrat, but he was the one that started with that polling. I think he's got the right idea, along with some other people that have been talking about the blockchain voting, where your votes count. It can't be swapped because it's on a blockchain. But Andrew Yang is where you pick you prioritize it. Like I want Vivek first, and if Vivek don't get it, then Trump. And then you don't even have to vote for Biden. So if Vivek was equated out in your state, you would just revert to your second choice. Like most people say, they don't want to throw their vote away. That's the problem. And it's like, if Vivek was libertarian candidate, I think he'd really stir a muster. Imagine a RFK Vivek libertarian candidate, as the ticket. I think the libertarians are on stage next go around. I don't think they'd be able to shift enough votes and hide it if them two were the powerhouses in the middle. But Andrew Yang was the one that said that you should prioritize it. First choice, second choice, third choice. You could go all the way down to fifth choice if there's 5 candidates on your ballot. But once one's equated out as the first choice and there's no way he's going to make it, say your first choice, it could revert to your third choice in your state. So your vote's not wasted. It just backs up and says, all right, only 10% voted for Vivek. And so your backup option is this guy.
Well, honestly, I like the fact that this is whom I voted for. I voted for this person. I stand behind. Because honestly,
I agree with you. I'm saying
it's
the simpletons that say, "I don't want to waste my vote."
well, right, but I voted libertarian. I definitely, what Big Spoon talks about oftentimes, the duopoly of the two-party system and stuff like that, where we only pretty much so as a conservative, a governmental conservative, and a social liberal, which is kind of a libertarian ideals. I started voting libertarian, honestly, as sort of a protest vote. It was a vote to say, hey, why is this governmentally conservative person who should be a Republican voting for libertarians? And, and unfortunately, I've never gotten that phone call, to say, hey, why did you vote that way? of course. So here's an opportunity on a podcast that, maybe people will watch more than the 2 or 3 that are usually watching.
Well,
And
you could catch it later, but you hope that somebody might listen eventually or say, okay, well, let's find out why you left, got off the reservation. I went off the reservation for kind of the same reason, because, you talk, in our talks about like abortion and stuff. And I thought, why do I drink the Kool-Aid on so much of this other stuff? And listening to Ron Paul, I thought, okay, all right, yeah, let's go in the libertarian camp and let's be happy. And when we're all on a train car heading off to a concentration camp, I didn't vote for one of these 2 ass clowns. Y'all did. You're too stupid to vote on a third party. Be the voice of reason in the middle, but I'll probably be the one they'll stab on the train car to just drag my carcass off.
Yes, you will. It'll be a Trump tard sticking you in the back.
That's fine.
And I get tired of
5 cents pencil.
I get tired of hearing from the Democrats or Republicans when you vote libertarian or independent. Well, you're just wasting your vote. Why am I wasting my vote? I'm voting for what I constantly think is the best choice. Do I know in the back of my mind it's not going to win because the Republicans and Democrats have stranglehold our country? Yes, of course I know that. But I'm not going to go out and vote for somebody who's wanting to kill babies and doing all this if I don't agree with it, or who's going to raise our taxes by 40% and take away our guns because I don't believe in it. There's too much of the blind sheep being led to the slaughter in this country, and it's controlled by Democrats and Republicans.
Oh yeah, it's a left-right paradigm where they're just entangling everyone and just zipping them up like a boot.
And we've talked about before, their wings are the same bird. The far left and the far right, it's the same bird. There's 2 separate wings.
Yeah, so that's why I say vote libertarian. Let's see if we can send some bird shot their way. But I don't know. I don't even know if it turned around at this point.
Well,
mindset.
I vote for the best person that I feel like. And I talked with these constitutional Republicans, and I like a lot what do they have to say, but I don't agree with everything. And the guy said, well, we pulled your voting background back when I was running for mayor, and we would classify you as Democrat. Okay, I don't give a shit what you classify me as. He said, well, you voted more Democrat than you have Republican. And I said, well, in my life, I voted independent, I voted libertarian, I voted Democrat or Republican. I said, but it's you guys' fault that you can look at my voting record and say, well, he's voted more Democrat. Because when you go vote the primaries, you can only vote Republican or Democrat. And you can't cross over. So there may be in the primaries, there may be a Republican I want to vote for on this platform over here. And there may be a Democrat over here. But when I walk in the door, I have to pick Republican or Democrat in the primary to vote on. So if there's more Democrats,
you only get a ballot that has Democrat on it.
That's what I'm saying.
If you're registered as a Democrat, and which is what I hate that too. That's a problem in our country also. I think we should be able to vote for the best candidate.
I'm not registered I don't belong to any party. But when you walk in the door to vote in a primary, you have to either vote on the Democrat side or the Republican side. You can't vote for who you feel like the best candidate is for
I think
each individual race.
The Republicans should be picking both who they think is the best Republican and the best Democrat. And the Democrats should be the same way. They should be able to cancel out the Republicans. And if they want to push Vivek up, they should push Vivek up and watch Trump flutter off in the breeze. And goodbye, Orange Man. But 12 for me was, I begged my parents, please, Ron Paul, please. And they went Newt Gingrich. I was like, what the fuck's the matter with y'all? Well, my sister told me, yeah, and I begged you, your son begged you not to. Please, Ron Paul. And then they ended up jumping in the Kool-Aid and voting for Mitt Romney in 12. And I'm like, I'm voting for Gary Johnson. Thank you. Bye.
But what I'm saying is when you walk in and vote in the primary, if there's always that when they say, you want red or blue? And I said, I want libertarian and independent. What? What's libertarian? Most of them ask you, what's libertarian? And then
It's
and then
me.
it comes,
It's like
and then it comes to the conclusion you can only vote Republican or Democrat in the primary, and you have to pick one, and that's horse crap. So then people want to pull your voting record and say, "Well, we would classify you as a Democrat." Well, I don't really care what you classify me as. You're the one.
Here, hold on. So
you're the one stop me from voting the way I want to vote. You know.
well,
right, because you may have said, okay, I'm going to vote on the Democratic ticket because you're attempting to pick what you believe is a Democrat that best supports your ideals. But I will give you one better. In the state of Florida, where I originally started voting, I was MPA originally, and I went in to vote in one of the primaries, and they gave me my ballot, and I had one issue on it. And I looked at him. I'm like, "Hey, this only has one issue on it. I thought I was here to vote for, the presidential or the primary candidates and stuff like that." And they were like, "Oh," and they looked at it and they go, "Oh no, you're MPA. Nobody's running as an MPA. So the only thing you get to do is vote on this local issue, which is bipartisan." And it was, and I thought, as being a no party affiliation, that guess what? That would give me
open them up to both.
Free agent status. Let me just walk in here and I could go in and pick the best Republican candidate, the best Democratic candidate, or if I wanted to, a libertarian at the time, stuff of that nature. And so, that's even worse. Charlie, at least they forced you to say, hey, red or blue. When I walked in there, they were like, sorry, you don't get the vote until the presidential election. That's when you get the vote for a candidate.
You don't like this In-N-Out burger or this all chicken joint. That's basically what it's turned out to. Here, you can have a burger or you can have a chicken sandwich. That's it. Guess what? A lot of people like tacos. There's a lot of Mexican restaurants around. As Joseph said in the comment here, there is a lot more citrus. It's to the point where like Vivek or RFK and it was against Trump, I might actually vote for a Democrat for the first time. If one of them was on the left.
If you didn't have a choice. If you didn't have another choice.
I'm saying if it was RFK and Vivek on, say, the Democrat ticket versus Trump, oh yeah, I'm Democrat all day then. That'd be the first time I'd be a Democrat. Just
right.
because I know their mindset. Oh, they wouldn't want Vivek backing him up either. That would be funny. Then the CIA would never kill him. They'd be like, "Oh no, we don't want Vivek in the power."
I just want people to understand that we, the people, have let them get so much power and control, and it's went on so long that when you walk in a polling place, you still can't even vote the way you want to vote. They make you choose one side when you're not on either side. So
trying to back this off is never going to happen, I don't think.
But if you go vote in the primary, there may be 15 positions, right? And you may want to vote for 3 Democrats. You may want to vote for 3 Republicans, and you may not want to vote for anybody else out of the 15. You might want to vote for 6 because you don't like the other guys. But when you walk in that primary, you don't get that choice. You should be able to. You got to be able to vote Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, Muslim, whatever you want to say, whatever is on that ticket.
That's a religion. That's a religion. That's not a political party.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm just saying you ought to be able to vote any which way you want to, back and forth, crossing. You ought to be able to vote for
what you
think the best candidate is.
But that even goes to that point right there, like you said. And I can only go based on the state of Florida because although I do work in the state of New Mexico, I have only voted in the state of Florida. The other thing to go along with what you are saying, say you don't like the other, you don't like any of the candidates there. If you don't check a box in the state of Florida, so if you leave just one box empty, it voids your vote. It voids your vote because you have to turn in a complete ballot. even if you check other, but if you do check other, you have to write a name in. And believe it or not, if you write a name like Mickey Mouse in, it also voids your vote as far as that goes, because it's not it's not what they consider a legitimate candidate. So it really does. I mean, talk about marginalizing the vote as much as they possibly can.
It's the power and control. I don't consider Joe Biden and Donald Trump a legitimate candidate, but
I don't disagree.
Well, a legitimate candidate that you would want to vote for. I mean,
exactly.
Well,
unfortunately, they are. They are legitimate by they have that right to run. As much as there's probably a lot of people who look at Ramaswamy and I'm so I would like to get to this point too. The problem with Ramaswamy, and love what I'm hearing from him, a lot of what I'm hearing from his ideas and stuff like that. And we've already seen with the Breakfast Club interview where, it was met with immediate hate. The problem of it is even the people who probably are going to vote for him in the Republican Party are likely going to look at him and go, oh, he's brown skin. There's probably a very good percentage of people who are going to be like, yeah, no, I don't want that. Then they're going to look at him and think, oh, he's at least of Indian or Pakistani origin. And they're going to be like, I'm sure the majority of them are probably going to just automatically say, oh, well, he's Muslim, because they don't understand that Indians are largely Hindu as far as that goes. But even there, they're still going to say, oh, he's Hindu. So he's going to get a lot of color bias from his own Republican Party. He's probably going to get a lot of religion biased from his own Republican Party, because I'm sure, the evangelical bloc is probably going to say, oh, no, we can't vote for him. Although they have no problem voting for a sinner in Trump as far as that goes, because wasn't it Trump that had sex with a hooker that he paid for while one of his wives was pregnant in all likelihood? Yeah, that's a good candidate for an evangelical to vote for.
He also grabs a bitch by the pussy too. So I mean, they love.
Yeah. So I mean,
just walk up in the Miss Universe and watch them change and everything, and go back and make them perform on you later.
Right. But we can't vote for Ramaswamy because he may be Hindu.
He's brown. He's brown.
Can't vote for him.
He's brown and has a different religion than me. So no, I can't vote for you. I vote for the guy that's absolutely the guy that said that his book is second to the Bible only. Orange man, stupid.
He has a book. He has a book that he penned.
Well, I don't know if he actually penned it. He probably said a whole bunch of stuff, and some smart guy, edited it down, the art of the deal. But he called that number 2, only behind the Bible.
Oh, good God.
He's so arrogant. And it's just all I think is just the Pied Piper just leading the mice off into the slaughter.
Right. So I know you're an Audible fella. I know you have Audible app, or at least you did. By the way, Ramaswamy has authored a number of books.
Oh, he did?
Too. Yes.
I got some credits I ain't used yet.
Yeah, there are some books that he has penned, let's say. Whether it was him or he had a I forget what they call it when somebody writes for you. Basically, you dictate and they write it for you.
Ghostwriter.
Ghostwriter, yeah. And so I don't know, but I mean, he's an extreme to me. Listening to some of the interviews that he gives that I have listened to, he's sharp. He's sharp. He's super intelligent. The ideas that he has, he's got them. I know for my anarchist friend over here, he wants to abolish the FBI and also the ATF.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
And he wants to abolish the Department of Education for our skier in the center there.
And he believes that the Second Amendment means we should have machine guns. You got my
Yes,
vote, buddy.
Yes, that was in the Cullion interview. That's what I was like. Why? He's like when he mentioned about Joe Biden, as far as when Cullion mentioned about Joe Biden wanting to have AR-15 or not or 15s against us and stuff like that. He was like, no, we should have the same armament that the military has.
Well, what I liked on the Noir interview is when he said that what he spoke about at the NRA convention, which we missed it. I don't know.
Yes.
He said China was furious with what he said. Put a gun in the house of every person in Taiwan and give them the Second Amendment and challenge China. And that is true. Imagine if every household in Taiwan was given an actual M4 and the equipment to operate it. Just one. That makes every house a possible threat to an invading army, correct?
Yes. And
people don't understand. That's why we haven't been technically invaded by land. I guarantee it.
And Spoon, I don't know if how many of the interviews that you did. I know you said you definitely listened to one, but he also wants you to, if you want to, and I did find this odd. I noticed. So before I go completely, he said if you want to vote before you're 25 years of age, which I would like to kind of find out a little bit more about that. But I guess from 18 to 25, if you want to vote like as an 18-year-old, he also believes that you should take a test to see what your knowledge of our country and our processes are for government. So that so
an aptitude civics test, aptitude test.
I don't oppose to that because these generations that are growing up now, they have no clue. They're not being taught in our schools what they should be taught. They're not being taught at home. The
three branches of government: Dylan Mulvaney, Cardi B, and
Kim Kardashian.
That's the three branches of my government. Oh, you can't vote. Sorry, sir. Go home.
Like, we see your comments. We're not ignoring you. We're just going back. We'll come back to you. But me and Red talked about this, and we can all relate because of our.
Sorry,
our
I can't see the comments. So
it's over to the right on the top right of the screen.
Okay, I'll go out of that.
Joseph agrees. So you see that.
But with our job, we all know how this is. Me and Red talked about it yesterday. I don't like his background. I do like a lot of what he says, but I don't trust anybody. I definitely don't trust Trump or Biden or either the Republican or Democrat Party. And you can always portray that like we do with the trucking recruiters. These politicians make promise after promise after promise to get your vote, and when they get in there, it's the opposite. What does the trucking recruiters do to us truck drivers? They promise us the world and lie to us and they get us in the door, and then we find out, well, that lying son of a you know what, and it's time after time after time.
Well, I will say this. My singular, well, at least this rebuttal to it at this moment is that whether it's Ron Paul, Ramaswamy, or anybody else, way back in my earlier days, Ross Perot, as far as having alternative ideas, is that when you and become president of the United States, you have something called Congress, which, consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives. And unfortunately, those are the people that are going to dilute your ideals as far as that goes. What I like about it, though, is that at least it starts a conversation. At least it brings an alternate form of of an idea to people, because at the moment, people on the left just think that Republicans or conservatives are just three racist white guys on a podcast, as far as that goes, So, and I'm not racist at all as far as that goes, but
he's not referring to us.
All right. The people who think there are
to
people that go,
Club,
this, we have the American flag over here in the corner, and we're not, just, let's see, left on the screen. Sorry. We just don't sway all the way over there. So they just automatically say, these people are racist, as far as that goes. Part of what I hear from this guy is that it's coming from the mouth of a brown-skinned individual, where it probably makes it very hard for them to just knee-jerk call him a racist. As I said with the Breakfast Club interview, if it was Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump, they would have been screaming racist on the interview, and they were not. They showed him a lot of hate with how they handled their questions, with how they were very dismissive with his ideas and stuff like that, not even allowing him to get ideas out. They showed him hate. But the one thing they looked at was like, oh, he's brown too, so we can't call him a racist. We can't just go to the knee jerk. He's a racist. That's how we're going to defeat him.
But he wasn't really saying anything racist. He was just being
he hasn't said nothing racist.
She
not at all.
That lady
not at
was
all.
Racist.
He was
you're from India. When she said that, and you're from India, and you've been in this country for 20 years, and then I was like, wow, you just went right there, you racist. But I was
not even from. He's not even from India. He was born here.
When she said that, the back of my civics mind said, how can you run for president if he's from India? That's unconstitutional. Yes. And then basically he immediately said, I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. So she had to back down. But I kept wanting him when she kept saying, why did you do this student thing in school? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? And he said, he admitted, well, it helps me get into college. And then she wouldn't have just scorned him and said, you're doing that for personal gain. I am an Air Force veteran. And I kept saying, ask her if she used a GI Bill to get a college fund. If she did, then you did that for personal self-gains. That's kind of what I wanted him to do. I kept saying, just ask her, did you use the GI Bill to get a scholarship since you were as a veteran? Did you go to serve and then take a personal interest in, or are you not accepting your what's it called, the checks that retired servicemen get? Are you went and served in the Air Force? You're not taking a pension or taking any Medicare or any government. There are so many questions. He could have just
VA.
You're not taking any VA benefits. You're not taking any VA benefits. You went and served, and I appreciate your service. Let's hope that you aren't using the VA, right? Which at that point,
VA, GI Bill, which would be helping her personally.
Yeah, she did it for a reason, an ulterior motive. But she's scorning him for wanting to get into college and then go and make drugs and make himself. She's just mad, like the Hodgson. She's just mad that he's a millionaire.
Right. Well,
actually,
and go ahead, Trevor.
Closer to a billionaire.
Who, Ramaswamy's a billionaire?
Right on the doorstep. If he's not, he's right on the doorstep.
Well, it was amazing that she was mad that he used the
wonderful American story. Wonderful American story. The
immigrants in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Now, don't get me wrong. His parents were educated people. I believe his dad was a doctor and his mom was some other type of professional when she came to this country. So don't get me wrong. They probably didn't come here, as they didn't
struggle,
right. I'm sure, but at the same time,
but they instilled good values. They instilled good values in a young child,
and he's a big
raised him
guy.
right. that scares me in a way, but I don't know.
That's what I told Red yesterday. I'm like a big pharma guy that's worth $1 million, and I like what he's saying, but
we should find out. We should find out if he ever endorsed the government's poison vaccine. Oh,
yeah,
that would maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Shouldn't say that. No, you too. We're going to get flagged again. Yada 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 yada. You retract that statement because whatever government says is right.
Right. The big pharma.
No answer for votes being moved or none of that stuff.
The poison needle. Did you get the poison needle?
So what was you saying, Spoon?
I think it would be interesting if he endorses that. That might actually be kind of interesting. Being big pharma, because maybe that would help Charlie with his.
He worked at a hedge fund for 7 years, and then he come out and started a pharmaceutical company.
Huh. Okay.
If you're reading Wikipedia,
no, I'm not going to read. I'm trying to see.
He also paid somebody to scrub his Wikipedia account.
Yeah,
because he also took
that drug he was pushing. I can't remember the name of it.
Well, he actually mentions it in a couple of the interviews that I watched yesterday. The Hodge twins ones that we're talking about.
The Interpidine or whatever.
Right, but you're not going to get companies to develop medicines that aren't eventually going to have some sort of could have a negative effect.
See, this is state news or statnews.com says Vivek Ramaswamy wants to gut the FDA. He claims don't hold up to the scrutiny. Stat readers know Vivek Ramaswamy from his time as the founder of the biotech conglomerate. That's the company Rovant. Ramaswamy posted a video on Twitter. The biotech bona fides to talk about his plan to expose the ultimate gut, the Food and Drug Administration. The FDA is corrupt anyway. We already know that.
He was the co-founder, co-founded Chapter Medicare, a Medicaid and Medicaid platform. He served on the Ohio COVID-19 response team.
Oh, God. Oh, shit. Don't tell me that.
Okay.
The proof is coming back.
But what was his response? What was his response, though? What was his response, though? I mean, maybe he was basically saying, "Hey, I think Fauci's an idiot." You never know.
I'm reading, so go ahead.
Right. So, I mean, it all depends. He definitely seems as though he's other than like his litmus test for being able to vote and stuff like that. In the Kalan video, he definitely did not seem like he was a person that was endorsing mandates. Like, this is what you have to do. He did not seem.
He's made donations to both Democrat and Republican parties.
So did the orange dusted man.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, how can he be classified as a Republican? I mean, he voted both ways.
Here, this says
maybe he's a libertarian.
This says his worst example is going after the COVID vaccines. He speaks about COVID vaccines being pushed through under political circumstances in less than a year to make it sound as if they weren't studied. These procedures were studied in some of the biggest approval trials I've ever seen, and Ramaswamy certainly knows that. No, they weren't. That's backing up. Sorry. Maybe he's anti-vaccine or anti-vaccines that aren't tested, which is exactly what the COVID vaccines were.
Right. And that was, and I'm not anti-vaccine because I've certainly have had many vaccines in my life, as far as that goes, but I didn't want that vaccine that was essentially developed in a
Operation. Hurry. That was Operation Warp Speed, and Trump still crazy is that?
Right.
Today.
And I didn't want to be their guinea pig. Sorry.
And look at all the people that's come out with their complications, and it's going to be more and more and more as the years go.
Yeah.
No,
Soon you could
I'm not
turn on daytime television and you'll hear some litigation lawyer or liability lawyer, asking,
did you booster?
Yeah.
Then there'll be a different law firm. Did you take booster number 6?
Hey, I know a guy that had the COVID vaccine, and he's had every booster and everything, and he's had COVID like 10 times supposedly.
Wow.
You ain't talking about our, the one that we gave some chicken eggs. I still laugh at that. We gave some chicken eggs. And you remember that, Spoon? We didn't, or the wife didn't clean them good enough, and there was a little bit of chicken poo on there, and he's a homosexual. And I come back here and told the wife, I said, he was complaining because one of the eggs had a little chicken poo on it. And she's like, coming from a gay man? Wow. Scared of a little poo?
I'm sorry. I can't believe you went there.
I did go there. I'm sorry. He was scared of a little chicken poo, and he's a gay man. All right.
Oh my God. We've gone vax, and now we've gone anti-gay. Oh, this podcast is going to be definitely shadow banned.
We're already there. Sorry, man. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, a gay man scared of a little chicken poo. Your favorite part of a person's anatomy is a poo hole. All right.
I think you just need to stop. You're just making it worse.
Well, making it worse? Come on. I think right now I'm actually making people laugh. I'm laughing inside.
I have several gay friends. This does not represent that we hate.
No, we don't represent that we hate gays and the gay friends that you have. We're just going to, if you're scared of poo, let us know.
It's called an enema. It's called an enema.
I'm sorry.
I can see
probably just
going. It's got poo on it.
we have just alienated your Republican closeted
I don't care.
Friends.
I don't care.
I love everybody, so I'm sorry.
There went half your audience.
Well, no, I mean we had an abundance of eggs, and we're trying to be nice and give somebody some eggs, and then they want to come back and complain. And
I'm still friends with him, so it's not. If he was on here, we would laugh at him the same.
I'd love it if he's popped on there. It'd be like, a gay man scared of some poo. What kind of gay man is you? The kind that only wants to get oral. You only want a 69 with your other men. That's it. No.
Oh my God.
For episode 69. Oh my God, episode 69 went homo. Son of a bitch. Did I do that?
We really drove off that.
You should have brought it up, Spoon.
This plane is going down, and none of us have parachutes.
Help!
The other analogy was up shit creek without a paddle. Whoops, I did it again. Oh, my God. Anywho.
That's why my eyes are brown, because I'm so full of shit, just like you.
Pretty much.
Mine are brown, too. He's the only one that has blue eye. He's the blue-eyed devil, people.
Yeah, white devil. Cracker devil. Oh, man. Anyway, we should switch that topic.
I think we're done here.
He's had it 10 times for real, Spoon, but he had every.
I think Ramaswamy was going to reach out. I think Ramaswamy was going to reach out and see if he wanted to be on your all's podcast, and now I think he just went. I think he just went.
Oh, well.
No,
we're not going to blow up. I don't care. We've been doing this over a year. We ain't really done anything, done a whole lot of nothing, but I don't care. It's still putting a public record out there.
That's right. We enjoy it.
I just enjoy telling putting it out. Because it doesn't. If you don't step in the ring, you don't matter. If you're not going to get in the ring and try, you don't matter.
You know how many people have mocked me because I ran for mayor and I lost by a big margin? I just look at them and go, "What have you done?"
I tried. Well, I watched Dylan Mulvaney in his Budweiser commercial. That's what you've done lately.
He in that John Streusel video, he talks about that. He's got a beer koozie thing that mocks that.
Well, his books were Woke Inc. Was it Capitalist, and then something about country. There's 3 books on Audible. Maybe I'll think about grabbing them. Or at least grab one, listen to it, see what it's like. I still need to listen to the JFK one about the assassination. And I'd need to send that. Did I send that to you, Spoon? The Jesse Ventura interview?
No, I don't think so.
I wish I had sent it to you, Red, but
Jesse,
he didn't.
The body, Ventura.
Well, he did one in an interview here recently, and he said the same thing RFK is. CIA, that was a coup. They killed JFK. It was a coup. That the country's been stolen ever since then. And I don't disagree with him. And that's where he talked about Bill Hicks or whatever that did the joke about the big screen dropping out of when you win the presidency, they take you into a little dark room with 10 fat bald white guys smoking on Cuban cigars, and a big screen drops out of the roof, and they show you an angle of the Kennedy assassination you never seen before, and the screen retracts up in the ceiling. They look at you, and any questions? Nope. Whatever you want, you got it. Because they'll kill you.
Well, you remember Reagan must have forgot because they tried to take him out, and then he straightened right up. He's like,
yeah. Oh yeah, no, he went right in line after that. Oh yeah, whatever y'all want. Well, you got it, boss. Reagan, I think, was lied to. I think he played the game and he got in there and he thought once he got office, it didn't matter who these people were and he was going to actually try. And then I think they gave him a little shot of lead. They gave him a little shot of lead to remind him who's boss.
Oh, a lead vaccine.
Yeah, lead vaccine. They gave him a lead vaccine. So this was 2 weeks ago. Is when it was a Graham Bensinger. The interview was Jesse Ventura, full interview. But it was a channel called Graham, Graham Bensinger. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to y'all too. But it was a good interview where he talked about, he thinks the U.S. got caught in a coup back then.
And I don't know if y'all have noticed, it's getting close to November. You know what happens in November?
What's that?
Some elections. We got some elections coming up. So you
mean like the local and state elections?
Yeah. So they're saying we have a new variant strain out there, and they're ramping all that up, barking. So just keep that in mind.
I will tell you, I had a coworker who was diagnosed like 2.5 weeks ago with COVID. And I've got another coworker whose child was sent home from daycare because they had COVID, and
But everything these days, if it's a cold or whatever, they list it as COVID. So,
right. Well, at a certain point, with all these, this virus was not a killer virus. So it's going to be a mutating virus. So, you're never going to get rid of COVID. It's never, because it doesn't wipe the host out. If it actually killed the host, it would, and I know it does kill some people who've gotten COVID. I'm not saying that, but so does the flu. and the flu is also a mutating virus. So at some point, COVID is going to be a virus that is going to keep coming back in one form or another. So, it's just
we just like they call the flu season, we're going to have COVID season.
Well, honestly, it's hard for me to even believe the thought that there could be the possibility that they just rename some flus, or you don't. What do you really know? I mean, honestly, that it's not just a flu.
Well, and it is a flu. It's just a different type.
I'm sure. Well, it's been around. I mean, we've known about it for a long time. Some of the patent paperwork goes back into the 2000s. For
that's why the can of Lysol has COVID.
Yeah, everybody was freaking out about that. It's because they said it says coronavirus. It's because it's bat corona. They've known about it for 20 years, people. It's not like it's new. But these labs and I can't. Don't go there. We're gonna get more in trouble.
Nah.
We already are.
We might as well just wrap that up before we get more. Ding, ding, ding.
Did you watch? Huh? Oh, go ahead.
I see you are rolling up on 56 minutes, so I don't know if y'all want to. What your time limit is?
Well, finally, Spoon's got a connection. What happened, man?
Yeah, you're like suddenly
you're crystal clear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he been that
you're frozen. You froze for a minute, but you was like a Japanese bad translation movie. You could hear you slip from a movie.
It ain't been that way the whole time.
No, you.
You came into the podcast.
Now you're freezing
freezing up.
Yeah, freezing. Well, you're freezing a little bit now, but I don't know what happened. Your channel got better.
On my end, I don't see any problem on my end. So,
you don't see it.
We can clearly see you have a lot of gray in your goatee.
Yeah, now before it was pixelated, like you were running on below 400 or 420.
We were getting off of that subject, Charlie. We were getting off of that subject.
Yeah, don't go there again, skier. Take us down the mountain, Spoon. Oh, Lord. We don't need to go there. We've overdid it probably with all the COVID stuff we shouldn't have. I think I heard recently that YouTube was trying to change their policies again on that for people that were trying to spread medical disinformation. Yeah. I think all information needs to be free flowing always. And if you censor it, you're liable.
We did. I don't think we spread any information one way or the other. We just simply spoke. That's
why we need these law firms to.
We give our opinion.
No, we need to start a class action lawsuit against YouTube for spreading misinformation by being what's that called? They're editors. For being editors. Well, Rachel Maddow is still telling you that if you got the vaccine, you can't catch COVID. And wow, you're hearing that too, huh? Yeah. Rachel Maddow is still up on YouTube telling people if you've got the vaccine, you can't get the coof.
We had some thunder rubble our houses.
Oh, yeah. I think I might.
Okay.
First. Yeah, it's thunder. We're like, oh boy, where's that?
Yeah, because it's bright sunny skies here.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But if you can tell, the skin color is.
Could you imagine the class action lawsuit against Alphabet, Google?
Have
you listened to Rachel Maddow? Huh?
He looks a little bit like Donald Trump there, don't he? Red.
Oh yeah, a little orange.
No, I would say more of a red color, not an orange color.
Well, then you got to start going through the spray tan booth. It's orange. Cheeto dust. Trouble is we're too close to the Cheeto machine. Whoops! It blew up. Let's just wipe it out of my eyes so you can.
Put your sunglasses on so that when you take them off, you look like a reverse cat raccoon.
I can see him getting up in the morning, getting on like a little assembly line and putting his little goggles on and going in there and spinning around, like a little spray booth, and then coming out the other side with a little thing brushing his ass off. Here you go, Mr. Trump. Anyway, fuck. I'm just sorry. I would love to see somebody sue YouTube for medical misinformation because they leave Rachel Maddow up with that lie. I mean, that's so true.
We ought to sue them for them.
But if somebody says something, hey, was this vaccine properly tested? Oh, how dare you spread medical misinformation? Down you go, strike. Here it comes.
So we ought to.
To me, I wonder where the ACLU is on all of this. I mean, it is It would be what you would consider a free speech aspect. I mean,
they haven't been.
You are free to believe whoever it is you want to believe.
They haven't been that good.
I don't understand how they can take us down on some hours, like in the beginning with the freest and fairest election, because of us just giving our opinions. And we were showing.
Well, it wasn't even our opinion.
I was showing
the
facts.
We were showing Google polls and asking a simple question. Hey, in this Google poll in Pennsylvania or in this Google poll in Kentucky, the Libertarian candidate lost votes. You had an exact count of how many votes were reported. And then later, the count changed to a negative. How did that happen? Can you explain how that happened? If you can't explain it, who switched them? Where'd they go? That was the question. And it wasn't this whole 10,000 Mules conspiracy movie we were even talking about all these people writing in these ballots and running to mailboxes and all this other BS. We wasn't even talking about that. I was talking about what I thought to me was the more dangerous issue of your vote being cast not on a blockchain where it can be watched and authenticated and confirmed that it did not effing move, but your own numbers show that votes are moving somehow to a negative. You should never see a negative. It's a simple question. Why am I seeing a negative? If there's a negative, something happened. Something went wrong. And if you're not going to get on here and talk about it or explain it, you should be sued. Somebody should be sued. And do I hate Trump for being such an arrogant, pompous idiot that he doesn't understand that because he's screaming into Fulton County and he's in trouble there?
Fulton County,
just find me 11,000. Yeah, just find me 11,000 votes or however many the number was. You're a fool. You are. Wow. There's your news, bud. If they really want to hang you, that's your news. And then they went.
He's only
by the way,
16 times.
4. I think that was 4, but that was RICO. RICO statutes are something that would have killed Capone way before the IRS did. They would have come into RICO's
syphilis,
huh?
Or syphilis.
No, I mean, I'm saying the IRS is who took down Capone, but if they'd have had RICO, they'd have got him long before needing to go after him for tax evasion. But
by the way, Ramaswamy has some very interesting opinions on the January 6th thing too, by the way. Was he with me and you where we said, go further, hold it, keep it? Well, you know what he wants? He wants definite reform. So, he understands, I think he understands why it may have happened, as far as, and his opinion was it happened because we the people are no longer being represented. And that was, it wasn't because of any election aspect. He said it happened because the people they're not seeing results. And so they decided to essentially take it. Now, and I am paraphrasing that, so that's not a direct quote from him as far as that goes. Go to the John Strussel interview. It's on YouTube. If you want to listen to what he actually says about it, as far as that goes. So, but he essentially said, when you have people that aren't, aren't seeing results, they eventually will take we the people into their own hands.
Yeah. Well,
so
the founders would have probably. Oh no, J6 is good.
Well, how about a Tea Party?
Wasn't good enough.
How about a Tea Party?
Well, the Tea Party was what pulled me off the res. I was like, all right, we're time to get out of here. I don't want to vote for these people no more. I can't do it.
Well, I was speaking more about the events in Boston, which was essentially
I was just talking about the 2009.
The Boston Tea Party.
Well, the Boston Tea Party.
You remember the original treasonist.
It was
the original treason.
You said this a long time ago, Spoon, when you was out in Gatlinburg talking about you're looking at a receipt and you seen almost 12% sales tax, and you were thinking, didn't we go to war with England over a 3% tea tax? What happened to us? Yep. It's like you trade the the tyrant across the what was the expression? Trade the tyrant across the pond for 100 local tyrants.
Yeah, you trade one tyrant across the pond for 100
local tyrants in your local government. Kind of what we did.
Well, I always get a kick out of people when you talk to them about things and they go, "Oh, that's so radical. That's treasonous." And I'm like, luckily our country was founded on those two things.
No, people don't know. People don't know how to treason no more. Make America treason again. There we go. Damata.
And he also said that he actually delved in on the Snowden and Assange issues. I believe which one published it and which one leaked it. Whoever published it, which was Assange, right?
Yeah,
Snowden
leaked it.
Okay.
Snowden leaked it to Snowden didn't leak it to Assange though.
Okay,
Assange
well, I know that stuff. Well, he definitely said he would pardon Assange, and that Snowden, he would definitely said he'd need to definitely review. What he said was what he was contractually obligated to.
No, I don't care about his contract as a whistleblower. Snowden should be automatically allowed back if he wants to.
He was open-minded on it. It
shouldn't be open-minded. It should be, no, he's a whistleblower. He needs whistleblower protection.
Well, right. Well, I'm saying as a political candidate, he was definitely open-minded to, addressing it.
Well, I guess no local. Did you catch the meeting, Spoon? Just curious.
I went back and watched it.
You haven't went back and watched it?
I figured we had enough to talk about. I'll watch it this week.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it next week.
Guess you all have a 69 and a half episode.
No.
I don't know why
you want to go to 369s. No, because we did it on the same day. We did the.
Well, I know, but it was one for the week before and one for that week. So I don't know why you done.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We could do a 69 and a half tonight, Spoon.
Yeah, boy.
Maybe that one could be straight instead of all this gay stuff.
You wish you could do a 69 and a half with me, big boy.
You just want the pudding, that's all.
Well, he is the spoon. He is the spoon.
Gotta fill the spoon up with the pudding.
How do you eat the pudding? With a big spoon.
Okay. On that note. Oh, Lord golly. Well, we'll see y'all guys next week, I guess. Yeah, jacket. There you go, Spoon. Get the big spoon on there.
You better watch out if you're enemies a road ahead of full